This is KUGAN CASSIUS for iFull TV in association with MTK Global. We're in Jeddah here in Saudi Arabia. I'm delighted to be joined by Chris Eubank Jr. How are you, mate?
Not bad, not bad.
I've not really seen a lot of video interviews of you since your fight with George Groves. Have you not really done any?
No, I haven't. I've been away. I've been in Las Vegas, training. Reflecting, working on aspects of my game that I feel need work on, and just knuckling down, I guess.
How soon after the fight with George did you watch the fight back?
That's a good question. I don't know. Probably the next day.
Because I saw you were in the gym the next day.
Yeah.
Same. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was wondering, how long that was. So it was the next day, you believe, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's been 7 months, I think, since then. So how do you kind of reflect on that night now?
How do I reflect on it? I didn't get the decision. Obviously, that is that's not what we were hoping for. That's not what I expected. But it is what it is. That's the game. That's the sport. You win some, you lose some, and you move on. You progress. You improve, and that's what I've been doing. You got people talking about, oh, you should retire, and it's always fun. I always hear that when a fighter loses, they, the haters or the critics, a lot of them might say, oh, maybe it's time for him to give it up, hang up the gloves. It's stupid, really. And obviously, I was never going to retire, especially not when, you lose a fight, but you don't get hurt, you don't get knocked out, stopped. Points decision. It was a close fight in my opinion, and there's definitely a whole lot more to come from Team Eubank. So now we're here. This is definitely not. I wanted to get out a lot quicker. 7 months is way too long. I shouldn't have been out of the ring this long, but I'm contracted to the tournament, and so I couldn't fight until the final passes. So we're here now. I've been out for 7 months. Fighting JJ McDonough, solid fighter. He says he's going to knock me out, says he's going to do all this. Apparently he's beating me up in sparring, like everyone else who spars me, I guess. So it should be an interesting fight. It's a good tune-up fight for me, as I've been out for 7 months, and it's definitely something that a good stepping stone fight for me to build on towards a fight, a big fight at the end of the year, which is what we're hoping to get.
Just want to touch on something you were saying about people suggesting you should retire after your fight. Obviously, there was some well-publicised comments from Prince Nassim Hamid, who's incidentally in Saudi Arabia, who said on live television that you should retire. What do you think about those comments specifically from Nassim after the fight?
I think he put a bet on and lost the bet, and sour grapes. I don't know why. I've always been alright with him. So I don't know. That's the only explanation I can give for him being so upset. But like I said, I don't. It's not. It's all talk. Obviously no one's retiring. It's just one of those things. People see a fighter lose and they think, oh well, he's done now, which is it's mad, because the best fighters, the best champions are the guys who've come back from defeat, come back stronger. So, I don't know why people have that word floating around whenever a fighter loses. Just, you're not a fighter if you're going to give up if you lose.
I spoke to him downstairs a little while ago, and he said for me to tell you that he does want to speak to you. I'm sure you'll bump into him at some point.
He's probably reflected on the situation and thought, all right, I might have got a bit excited that night and said something I shouldn't have said. If he's saying he wants to speak to me, that's probably why. I can't imagine it's to sit me down and try and talk me into retirement.
I think his exact words to me was, tell him I want to give him a big hug.
There you go. You know, I don't hold anything against him. He's you're caught up in the moment. You say things you don't mean. It's all good.
There was talk of you fighting on a Matchroom show in the summer. I think that there was a promo that leaked with you on it. I think that's what obviously people were was indicating that you were going to fight on the bill. How close was that? I think was it the Dylan White card?
Yeah, I was never going to be on that bill. I don't know why Eddie or whoever it was put my face on that bill. But there's always opportunities in the future to fight alongside Matchroom, and obviously I've been on cards with Anthony before, and it's been great. It's been a great experience, and he's flying a flag right now. So there's definitely some possibilities working with them guys in the future.
You said you were contracted obviously to fight with the World Boxing Series. Does that end as of this fight?
Yes.
Yes. So effectively you're a free agent?
Effectively, yeah.
After this fight, yeah. So will you talk to Sky, BT, etc. about your future, or is that already in the pipeline?
It's not so much who I'm going to talk to, it's who I'm going to fight.
Yeah.
Certain fighters can only fight with certain people. I want the big fights. There's a couple of names floating about right now that we're in talks with, and I guess it's just whatever platform is best for those fights to take place is who I will go with.
There's huge rumours that you will fight James DeGALE in December. He was fighting this weekend in America. You're fighting this weekend. Just from tweets people are reading about when you're looking to fight again, he's saying he's got something juicy in his words at the end of the year. Can you make any comment on this, that if there's any talks with you and DeGALE to fight?
I can't make any official comments, no, but that is a great fight. It's a fight I'm very interested in. I have been for years. The fans have been asking for it for years. So if there is any way that we can make it happen, that we will make it happen, But like I said, nothing is concrete, nothing is official. I have to get past JJ McDonough tomorrow, and DeGALE has to get whoever he's fighting to get past him. But that's the exciting thing at the moment. There's so many names out there, There's a lot of potential for some great matchups at the end of the year and into next year. So you guys just have to wait and see.
There was also some talk while George Groves was obviously going through his shoulder injury and the rehabilitation of that there was a possibility that you may have been in the final to fight Callum Smith. Were you kind of just putting that to back of your mind if that situation arose? Obviously, I'm assuming that you would have taken that.
Of course, if George falls down the stairs tonight and breaks his arm, I'm in. I'm fighting tomorrow for the Muhammad Ali trophy. But obviously, the closer it got to the event, I understood, I'm not going to be in the final. It's just one of those things, It's good. It's a good fight. George against Callum is it's a good fight for British boxing, and I believe that George should come away with the victory. Just going off of past performances, his experience, George has been with a lot higher level of fighter. Callum hasn't really been tested, so going off of that, you would say George. But you can't count anybody out, and with fights like these, you rise to the occasion. So it should be an interesting. It should be an interesting fight. It better be an interesting fight because the build up has been, you know, boring is an understatement. You know, both of them have nothing to say, and the things they do have to say are not worth hearing. So hopefully they can, you know, hopefully they can make up for that with the fight.
From a personal point of view, if that situation had arose and you were in the final, how would you have felt about that, considering you, on paper, you didn't get through to the semi-final, and if you'd won that fight in the final, how would you have kind of felt that sort of being given a bye, if you like, into that final?
Well, you know, who else is going to get it? What am I going to do? Say no? No, sorry. Give it to someone else. It doesn't, you know, we're fighters. We fight.
Mm.
If I get the opportunity, I'm going to take it. So yeah, you know, that answers your question on that one.
I recently spoke to Hassan and Dam, who said that you verbally agreed to fight him and then didn't fight him. What happened there?
I verbally agreed to fight him. I don't have any idea what will make him say that. I don't even know who the guy is, so, you know. But I say things and do things all the time, apparently. You know, it's funny for me to hear these things, and, you know, it's just, you know, I'm never surprised anymore.
It's just from an interview I did with him a couple of weeks ago. He said that you'd agreed to fight him, and I'm assuming that was verbally rather than...
What? So I just came up to him and said, yeah, I'm going to fight you.
I don't know the exact situation, but this is what he said in a video, so I'm just sort of relaying that to you.
Listen, people say a lot of things. JJ Madonna said he's going to batter me, he's going to knock me out, and then he's beating me up in sparring already.
When did you spar JJ McDonough? Because I didn't actually know you'd sparred him.
When did I spar him? Probably maybe 6 months ago. Around that time.
Mm.
Him and another one of his teammates. He came in the back end of the spar.
There's a lot of Chris Eubank sparring stories around, isn't there?
Mate, they're the best. Listen, these guys, as soon as they're out of the ring, they're on Twitter telling the world that they've just battered Chris Eubank Jr. It happens every time. It's amazing.
Have you been hurt in sparring before from anyone?
So, I've been fighting since I was 14. Of course, I've been hurt. You can't you can't swim and not get wet. But no one's ever knocked me down.
Right.
No
Okay. That's what. Yeah, okay.
No one's ever dropped me. I got punched out of a ring in Cuba by the Cuban heavyweight Olympian. He hit me out of the ring and I got straight back in. That's the most that's ever happened to me in terms of. Well, even that, I didn't touch the canvas. I was standing up and he punched me through the ropes and then I got back up. So I've never touched the canvas. Not in the professional ranks, not in the amateurs, and not in sparring, ever.
What was a worse defeat to deal with mentally from Saunders and also George Groves for you? What was harder to sort of deal with?
Listen, you know, it's disappointing. It's a setback. But it's not something that's it's not life changing. It's not world ending. They were both points. They're both competitive fights. You know, you understand as a fighter that sometimes things don't go in your way, and you just gotta improve and make sure that you don't make the same mistakes again. You know, I don't dwell on these things. I just, you know, I figure out how to be better. Did
you watch Canelo and Golovkin, Chris?
I did, yeah.
What did you make of it?
It was a good fight. Close again. Some people are saying that they don't think Canelo won. I had it pretty even. Maybe Canelo winning a couple rounds. Just seemed a little bit busier, a little bit more energy in what he was doing, but. You know, there's arguments for both sides, and I'm sure there'll be another one.
Would you want to see another one?
Sure. Why not? rather see me fight one of them, but
Yeah.
yeah, of course. I'm not. I'm at super middleweight now, but that by no means is to say that I wouldn't come back down to middleweight. You know, I'm a natural middleweight. I'm not a super middleweight. I walk around at 12 stone. You know, most super middleweights walk around 13, 14 stone, and they'll come down to 12 stone, and then they'll get back in the ring on fight night 13 and a half stone. Whereas I weigh in at 12 stone, and I fight at 12 stone.
Is it about kind of what fights come up at what weight? And
That's all it
yeah.
is. You know, I can't control who's going to say yes to certain fights and who's going to be available. So it's literally just, you know, super middleweight, middleweight. He can fight then, he can't fight then. All right, we'll take that one, then that one, you know. That's what it is. This was an amazing opportunity for me to be involved in the Super Series. And that's why I took it. Even though I'm not really a super middleweight, I wasn't going to pass up the opportunity to be in this tournament.
If you're looking at a big fight in December, is that likely to happen in this country or not necessarily?
In Saudi?
No, sorry. I meant the UK. When I say in this country, I meant the UK. I forgot where we were for a moment, Chris. Excuse me.
I mean, it all depends who it is, but I'm English. I want to fight in England if I can. Saying that, I would love to fight in one of these Vegas venues, Madison Square Garden, New York. I've always dreamed of fighting in those places, but yeah, for the big fights, you know, for the fans, it would be best to have it in England.
I'd love to see you and DeGALE, I have to admit.
It'd be a great fight. For me, not for him. He I don't know. James is he doesn't live the life, in my opinion, and I think that I will expose that. You know, I live the life. I'm a boxer's boxer. I'm in the gym. I live and breathe boxing. You know, I don't think he does anymore. So yeah.
What did you make of him vacating his title instead of fighting his mandatory?
He wants the big fights now.
Yeah,
He wants a big money fight, and I guess him having that title, he would have to fight somebody who maybe wasn't going to give him much money or much exposure in terms of interest in the public interest. So he chose to give that up and go for, you know, a big domestic fight or whatever. I can't condone that, what he did. You know, you just can't do that as a fighter. You can't give up your title. But you know, maybe he just wants one more payday. I don't know. You'd have to ask him.
Is that your immediate goal, to become world champion ahead of possibly getting into big fights? Because a big fight doesn't necessarily mean it's for a world title, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
For example, a fight with you and DeGALE wouldn't be for a world title necessarily, but that's a huge fight. But what's the kind of immediate goal for you?
Yeah, I mean, I want a world title, of course, but at the same time, I want to please the fans. You know, fighting an unknown name for a world title may not be as exciting or inspirational for the boxing public than a big fight with a DeGALE or so it depends. It's a tricky one. Obviously you want both, but a lot of the times it's hard to get both, and it's hard to choose which one. You know, sometimes you just got to take what's there. But you know, listen, I'm 29 years old. I've still got a lot of time in the game, so I don't really need to rush or miss out on big fights because maybe there's not a title involved or whatever. You know, I'm here for a long time, so I've got time to, you know, to please the fans and to get my world title.
Is your training team the same as it was for your George Groves camp, or have you made any changes?
For right now, for this fight,
Yeah.
for tomorrow, it's the same.
Same.
I've been training with different people out in the States over the last few months, but they are not here. That may change after this fight. But for right now, we have the same team.
Is there the possibility that you may kind of use a main trainer? We know you have Ronnie Davis and obviously your team, but you know, from what you said in the past about your training situation, could you have a main trainer again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's definitely a possibility. There's you know, there's nothing wrong with having new blood. And you know, like I said, I was working with some good people out there in Las Vegas, so that's definitely something that we would look at going forwards. Having you know, just adding to the team.
What do you think about Billy Joe's fight with Andrade in a couple of weeks or 3 weeks' time?
I honestly don't know anything about Andrade. I don't know anything about him, so it's just another fight for him, which I hope he wins, because as I've said many times, I want to be the one that takes that out.
Still on your mind? I know I'm asking you it, so it's not like you're bringing it up. I'm asking you about it, so that's obviously still.
Yeah, listen, he has a win over me. It's never not going to be a goal of mine to get that back, to avenge the loss.
Another fight we want to see as fans.
Yeah, there's quite a few. Even the winner of this fight, the Groves and DeGALE, you know. I mean, Groves and Smith. You know, obviously I'd love a rematch with George. And I think a fight with Callum would be a great fight too. The possibilities are endless at this stage. There's so many names out there that I could fight. It's exciting. I just got to keep my head down and keep my eye on the prize.
Was your dad coming out for this?
No.
No.
He's in the States right now. He's busy.
Okay. Well, before any talk of any big fight for you, you've got a big fight for yourself. Obviously, it's your first one back since your defeat to with JJ McDonough this week, so you've got a job to do.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no looking past this fighter. You know, the last fight I watched of his, he knocked out
Jake Paul,
knocked him over the ropes and then knocked him out. So you know, he's not somebody to take lightly. You know, the kid wants it, and you know, he can punch. So you know, I'm fully focused on this, even though I know that there are some much bigger fights in the future, in the not too distant future.
You was at Wembley over the weekend for Anthony Joshua. Impressed by Joshua again?
Very impressed. You know, he's the golden boy now. He's, you know, he can't be touched. He's, you know, undefeated, knocking all these guys out. Povetkin was, you know, was he 39-1?
Yeah, only lost to Klitschko.
Yeah, you know, so for him to knock him out in 6 rounds, it's impressive. And he actually told me something yesterday, which I'm not going to repeat, but it makes the win even more impressive. So yeah, he's gonna keep doing his thing, and hopefully we can fight on the same bill very soon.
Okay. Well, Chris, have you got anything else you'd like to add?
No.
Has the public been with you since February? Like, you know, your social media, and how's everyone been? Has it been the same, or?
Social media and public are two very different things. You
True.
guys need to understand that.
True.
You know, I'll go on my social media now and I'll have 100 people saying I'm an arse. But, you know, I don't know if you follow me on Snapchat or Instagram.
Instagram I do, yeah.
So you saw what happened when I left the AJ fight? Did you watch that?
I haven't seen that actually.
Okay, well yeah. I'm sure a lot of people watching what followed me and then saw the reaction of me being out. It's all love, it's all respect. Never any ill words said to me in public. It's always love, and I appreciate that because it makes me want to get back even more. Social media is social media. You know, I'm always gonna have my loyal army of haters. But again, I've got my loyal army of fans as well, and they're always there backing me up. So, you know, there's no such thing as bad publicity. You know, as long as people are talking about you, you're okay. I just got to produce the goods in the ring, which I will do tomorrow.
Just finally, Chris, how have you been finding Saudi Arabia?
Saudi is it's a beautiful city. Well, Jeddah is a beautiful city. Saudi Arabia, the culture, it definitely takes some getting used to. You know, I was told today that I can't wear shorts while I'm public, and you know, there's a few things that happen here that just don't happen in Western civilization. But it's an honor to be here as part of the first. I believe it's the first ever boxing show they've had. So this is history. So that's a great honor, and I'll be able to say that I was here for the first boxing show in Saudi Arabia, which is it's nice. I just got to get used to this heat. You know, this heat is. I mean, I've been in heat for the last couple of months in Las Vegas, but this is a different type of heat. It's humid, heavy. Yeah, I just hope that I haven't been to the arena. I don't know. It's not open. It's not open top, is it?
Do you know what? I really don't know, so I'm not going to pretend I know. But
okay, I hope it's closed off. Well, saying that, you know,
I should imagine it is closed off, just because, yeah.
I still can't believe they had AJ's fight open.
But there's no roof.
There is no roof.
No.
Okay.
A lot of people don't realise. Millennium Stadium, the Principality Stadium in Cardiff, has a roof. Wembley hasn't.
Right.
You'd think Wembley would have one, but it actually doesn't have a roof.
Yeah, I didn't know that because I'm sitting there ringside and I've got rain on me.
Yeah.
And
if you weren't in Eddie Hearn's row, you got wet basically. So the first row was all right. The people in the ring were all right. Everyone else was subject to the rain.
But I'm watching the fighters as well, and you know they're breathing, and you can see the air. You know, it was cold. It was cold. I actually could catch a cold after that for a couple of days, having to take a whole bunch of paracetamol. But yeah, Saudi Arabia, amazing opportunity to fight here in their first fight card, and you know, who knows, maybe we'll start coming out here a lot more.
Chris Eubank Jr., thank you very much for talking to IFL TV. Much appreciate your time the night before your fighting, so much appreciated for that. And yeah, best of luck tomorrow night. Hopefully we'll grab a word with you after your fight tomorrow.
Good man.
Thank you very much.